Good, good. So let's get right into this. The Social Security Administration on December 23rd basically released information about how their employees should be interacting with questions coming in about the Social Security Fairness Act. At that point, they didn't know if it was going to pass, although they kind of did because they were saying, this is what you say if it doesn't pass, this is what you say if it does pass. Now, with that said, just to be very fair, they released another update on January 6th from their legislative bulletin, specifically going through what people need to know. On January 5th, 2025, the president signed into law H.R. 82, the Social Security Fairness Act of 2023. The law repeals the windfall elimination provision and government pension offset, both of which could reduce Social Security benefits when someone received a pension based on work that was not covered by Social Security. The law applies with respect to benefits payable for months after December 2023. So essentially, January 2024 is when your back pay would start so that you get a bigger chunky check going into February of 2025. Now, we are all expecting that in February of 2025, the Social Security Fairness Act will actually get kicked off into play, and you'll be receiving your back pay and your forward pay at least before or on February of 2025. Now, with that said, they also released an additional detail through their bulletin system, which was directly linked to their website about HR 82. But the bottom line is they said this: at this time, you do not need to take any action except to verify that we have your current mailing address and direct deposit information if it has recently changed. Most people can do this online with their personal My Social Security account without calling or visiting Social Security. This is why I say it's always important for Social Security recipients to file taxes, not so much the money aspect, it is the update your personal information aspect. Make sure they have your most current phone number, make sure they have the most current address on file so that China can hack it. Now, with that said, as we scroll over to what's important, there's a couple of things that you need to know. They do have a link now where basically you can see what your benefits would likely change to if you were to go ahead and receive a modification or increase in your Social Security benefits as a result of the Social Security Fairness Act. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that little cool link directly into basically the chat section, doing that right now. That way you know you can go over there and you can calculate it. But that's not what this video is really about. This video is really about who exactly gets it. And I had a lot of people ask me, hey, why are you just saying cops? Why are you just saying teachers? Why are you just saying firefighters, yada, yada? And people were kind of mean like they always are, but a lot of people were really amazing and really nice and incredibly awesome. With that said, I'm now going to share with you a giant list of people who will actually be receiving this so that there's no question as to all the different categories of people that you could potentially fall into to receive this. Now, this person who is eligible must have worked for an employer who did not pay FICA taxes at some point in their life because they're working some other job that paid into a different pension. Or put another way, they didn't pay Social Security taxes, but rather paid into a different pension system. Ironically and sadly, most of the other pension systems that I've studied pay vastly more money per month to their recipients and are still solvent, which is, to be clear, the ultimate example that small government style pensions are superior to Social Security federal pension benefits, purely because federal employees mismanaged the Social Security Administration and their benefit systems so horrifically that basically people are receiving a mere pittance with this Social Security system. Had they managed the federal employees, the federal politicians, right, the Social Security Administration more properly, no pension on earth could compete with the size of the Social Security benefits and the advantages that that would give the SSA. But alas, these are the people, the politicians, who will receive a raise in Social Security benefits because basically they have figured out a way to continue to add money to the bottom line of what they get every single month. You will be hearing in this giant, massive list politicians, zookeepers, etc. I want you to just understand. And here's before we get to the list here, let me give you an example real quick. If you look at railroad retirement people, right? Okay. How do the average month, and this is straight from the rrb.gov, right? So this is the railroad pension system. How do the average monthly railroad retirement and Social Security benefits paid to retired employees and spouses compare? So we're comparing railroad retirement versus Social Security retirement. The average age annuity being paid by the Railroad Retirement Board at the end of fiscal year 2023 to career rail employees. So this is the average, not the low, not the high. This is the average, $4,310 a month. And for all retired rail employees, the average was $3,450. The average age retirement benefit being paid under the Social Security system was $1,810 a month. Okay. So and spouse benefits average $1,235 a month under railroad retirement compared to $865 under the Social Security system. Now, there's a lot of factors here that we can go into, but I just want to make something really clear. The Social Security Administration could be superior as a benefit to all these other pensions, but it's not, because our A team of politicians are complete and total shit. And they have been for decades. So the problem we face is that this program, our Social Security benefits, is having a problem. It's running out of money. Now, people are very upset that this Social Security Fairness Act passed. A smaller group of people, are very happy that it passed. It passed because Trump would have passed it, which would have given him a big win, and Biden would have not had that win. So Biden, along with Schumer, had to pass it. They had to pass it quickly, right at the end of the year. Well, technically into the next year, the year that he essentially loses the presidency. So this is the list real quick of people that will be receiving this. But remember, these are all people who had worked and paid into a different pension and then worked another job and paid into Social Security benefits. Okay. Nurses, healthcare workers, college teachers, academia researchers, university professors, retired judges, retired state legislators, clergy members, some public sector employees returning to private work, general category, some currently active judges, retired public school teachers, part-time public employees, dual career workers, postal workers, some park rangers, public transit workers, state correctional nurses, retired city, state, and federal engineers, some bus drivers, some trolley drivers, railroad employees, police officers, sheriffs, agents, firefighters, retired Coast Guard personnel, public housing authority workers, retired zoo employees, teachers married to Social Security recipients, public librarians, federal employees hired before 1984, the CSRS people, surviving spouses of public employees, municipal utility workers, retired public sector IT workers, state and local government employees in general that I haven't mentioned so far, military reserve personnel, crossing guards, correctional officers, election officers, and retired environmental specialists. I'm going to go through the list again so you can hear it one more time before we go to the next video. Okay, here you go. Nurses, and there's more than this. This is just the biggest list that's on the internet at this point. This is the largest amount of people out of any YouTube channel. Nurses, healthcare workers, college teachers, academia researchers, university professors, retired judges. Remember, these are all people who paid into some other retirement system and then got another job paying into Social Security. Retired state legislators, clergy members, some public sector employees returning to private work, some currently active judges, retired public school teachers, part-time public employees, dual career workers, postal workers, some park rangers, public transit workers, state correctional nurses, retired city, state, and federal engineers, some bus drivers, some trolley drivers, railroad employees, police officers, sheriffs, agents, firefighters, retired Coast Guard personnel, public housing authority workers, retired zoo employees, teachers married to Social Security recipients, public librarians, federal employees hired before 1984, which is, of course, the CSRS peeps, surviving spouses of public employees, right? And then also some children options as well as under the GPO. Municipality utility workers, retired public sector IT workers, state and local government employees in general that I haven't mentioned yet, military reserve personnel, crossing guards, correctional officers, election officers, which, by the way, that's some shit right there. That's some shit. The election officials have their own thing. I don't know if you guys knew that, but that's some shit right there. They got their own thing, and their election officials. I think the politicians should be tied to everything that we're tied to. Like, that makes no sense at all. And retired environmental specialists. Why not, right? All right. So bottom line is, this is the biggest list, okay, that basically is on the internet It is essentially a list of all the different individuals who potentially will be on the list that's paid out. We are expecting at the very end of this month, although potentially into February, that these payments will start going out. It would be the most advisable for President Biden to have the payments going out in January, because then it looks like it's coming from his presidency. However, he is like 10 days away from essentially Trump getting in. And if these payments start going out under Trump, that's not going to look too good. So the bottom line is we expect him, because of a political trial tactic to make sure he gets the rah, 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 to have these payments going out before essentially Trump gets in. But at the same time, he's kind of running out of time. However, at the same time, the SSA knew that this thing was going to pass back to the 22nd, 23rd, with the president signing it, because they released an emergency message to their internal staff. So they've had basically from the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 31, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and now today, the 11th, basically to go ahead and get the list together for the payment adjustments. And remember, there's two types of payments they have to do per each list person: the back pay to January of 2024, and then also what's their going forward monthly benefit increase going to be. So I hope this video was helpful. I wanted to show you guys all the different types of individuals who could potentially get access to the Social Security Fairness Act benefits. It is the largest list so far on the internet that goes through all the different types of people. But remember, they're all people who are either the children, the wives, or the specific workers who worked and paid into two different pension systems. One pension outside of the Social Security Administration, where they basically didn't pay into the SSA, or they, could have, and then also paid into the other one. Although, you get into the whole poverty indexing thing. And then the other one is basically, somebody, well, no, that's it. There's always two pensions. There's a person who paid for a pension other than the SSA, and then basically the pension with the SSA. And of course, people think it's weird to hear retirement as a pension, but retirement benefits are a quasi form of a pension. And then of course SSDI benefits. People think of disability. Disability through the federal government is actually a quasi form of insurance. That's why they have day last insured. All right. Anyways, I will catch you all a little bit later. We are going to be doing the next video, which is interesting. It's a quick talk about how the super rich basically can control the U.S. model, and whether or not removing them, because, let's be fair, those individuals on the left have this extreme hatred, this not good thing going on for people who are wealthy. And then the people on the right have a little bit of distrust for the wealthy, but they kind of, want the wealthy to fix everything. So it's just one of those things where we're going to analyze essentially if we get rid of the wealthy, if we send them all off to Rich People Island and we don't allow them back into the U.S., whether or not that would completely destroy the Social Security Administration and its funding systems and the FICA taxes that we have, or if it really have very little effect on it. And it's just one of those things where, people like to go rah, 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 tax the rich, tax them their fair share. So anyways, I will catch you in the next video. We'll be talking about that. Yes, USDA meat inspectors, some of that as well. Public school janitors, some of those as well too. So yeah, remember, it's all about they're paying into a specific, usually smaller government pension that is, allowed to go ahead and do that so that they don't have to pay into SSA FICA taxes. That's the whole big thing here. But I tried to make a giant list. It is a giant list. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll catch you a little bit later at the next video. Attorney Walter Hnot. Please remember to subscribe. Please remember to like. A lot of people don't hit that like button, and it really, really should be hit. Give it a good, taparoo. With that said, I go live Mondays and Thursdays to answer questions for free as the most viewed and subscribed to disability attorney in America. Also, they have a private hour option. So if you have a big question, there's a 1 hour private hour option. Mini contract is below, and the mini contract is going to get updated soon. All right. I'll catch you a little bit later. I will see you the next video in about 5 minutes. Thank you so much, Attorney Walter Hnot, and I'll catch up later. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.